You're worse than the kids telling them all the presents they got for Christmas. Oh, my. Good morning.
Morning.
I can take this off. Yay. Good morning and welcome to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. We're glad you could join us this morning. Those of you that are here in person and those of you that are online, you are most welcome. I would like to call you please to silence your electronic devices and try to help me remember that I left this up here on the podium. And it will take a few moments for committee moments this morning. Anybody have any committee moments that are pertinent to the business of the church? I will say that SAC, our Social Action Committee, is having a Zoom meeting after church this morning. I believe it's at about 10 of 12, and I think we're still having it. The link is in the notable news, so I'm pretty sure we're still doing that. No other committee moments? Wow. Paula reminds me that the hug committee is offline right now. That's true. Okay. All right then, let us continue. I have some opening words that, hang on just a sec. These are from Joseph Ensweiler. Because we wanted much that year and had little, because the winter phone for days stayed silent that would call our father back to work, and he kept silent too, with our mother, fearfully proud before us. Because I was young that morning, in gray light, untouched on the rug, and our gifts were so few, propped along the furniture, for a second my heart fell, then saw how large they made the spaces between them to take the space of less. Because the curtained sun rose brightly on our discarded paper and the things themselves, these 40 years have grown too small to see. The emptiness measured out remains the gift, fills the whole room now, that whole year out across the snowy lawn, because a drop of shame burned quietly in the province of love, because we had little that year and were given much. And now for our opening music, we're going to hear the number 318 from Singing the Living Tradition. Opening music will be We Would Be One. Jess Hooterman is the
We would be one, as now we join in singing our hymn of love, to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater understanding of who we are and what in us is true. We would be one in living for each other, to show to all a new community. We would be one in building for tomorrow a nobler world than we have known today. We would be one
Now we'll have our chalice lighting. Please join with me with the words on the screen. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. It's not nearly as exciting when the kids don't do it. For those of you that might be visiting us, generally when the children are in the service, they do the lighting of the chalice each week. And I remember the first fella that kind of talked to me when I was becoming a service leader, and he said, "Children in fire, what could go wrong?" My favorite. And now if you'll join me in the affirmation, very important words in our church that tell how we are together. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. We welcome you today. We're happy to have you with us, any visitors or guests. We have been traditionally a lay-led congregation. Now we have a part-time minister. We're thrilled to have her with us, Rev Tracie Barrett. She is going to be conducting the service today, later, and I just want to say how grateful we are to have her with us now. It's kind of a new direction for us, but a wonderful one. We're very happy about that. Even though Tracie is with us, keep in mind that our services do still vary from week to week, very much. We have other people also addressing the congregation. It's a very eclectic church. That's how I like to kind of explain us. But you are most welcome here, and please come again and again so you can get the full breadth of what we have to offer. Okay. Now we're going to go to joys and concerns. Joys are obviously mean more when they're shared, and sorrows can be help to cope when they are shared. So please, if you have something to share with the community, please come forward.
Good morning, everybody. David McElroy. Joy and a concern. The first one is that all of us were together. My daughter Caitlin and her husband Nick were with us, and Chloe McElroy, who's back in the back with the kids, and her boyfriend Levi. We spent Christmas Eve together, and then yesterday we went to see 3 hours of West Side Story. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's long. It's good though. I mean, I can't complain too much. The other thing is Marilyn hasn't been with us the last couple of weeks. She had surgery on Friday the 17th for a lipoma, which was under her arm. It's been there for quite a while, and it was quite big, and she's still recovering. So if you could send out some good thoughts to her, we'd appreciate it. And I hope you all had a great Christmas.
I want to honor Bishop Desmond Tutu, who died early today, I believe. He was such a cheerful advocate and such a strong voice for equality. And he was 90 years old, and he led a good life, and just wanted to honor him.
Hello. My joy today is that my grandma is joining us online.
I did put in stones for you, David, because I had forgotten. I apologize. If you could give us a few moments of silence for those joys, both spoken and those unspoken, so that we can contemplate on the joys and concerns in our own lives as well. Thank you. I did want to say, if you saw any signs up here, that I have taken over for Martha this morning. I believe she's taken Abby to the airport, and just wanted to wish from her to all of you a very Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year. And now we will have my favorite part of the service, Time for All Ages. And we have our lovely Judith Stein Farrell, our religious director.
I got a toy. I saw a movie. I got a toy. I saw a movie. I got a toy this weekend. Rev Tracie, I saw a movie this weekend all about archers and dragons and doing right, I guess. And I decided I'm gonna be an archer. Boom! I'm just gonna run around with my toy.
But where are you going to shoot it?
I don't know.
You can't just fire it around. You've got to know where you're aiming,
Why?
because you might hit something you don't mean to. Like if you just fire it off, you're going to hit some of these dear people. You might hit a new visitor, and then we're going to be in trouble. That's going to be a meeting and paperwork, and I don't want to do either one.
You're telling me I have to know where I'm aiming?
Yes,
What happens if I don't know, if I don't aim at something?
you could hit something wrong, or you could not hit anything.
I might not hit
And
anything?
you might waste an arrow, and then you got to go track it down, and like it only looks like you have one arrow. And so if you're just firing off wherever you want to fire off.
It's a magic arrow. There are lots of them that you just can't see them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's always a question I had in the movies too. But what if if you just shoot it off and it goes off and hits, anybody or
How do I do? So that's kind of like what we're doing back in the back right now. The kids are making vision boards today.
Oh, cool. Should
And
have gone back there.
you should have come back there. It was a lot of fun. But they had to figure out what they were looking for. Is that what aiming an arrow's like too?
Yeah, like what are you going to shoot it at?
How do I decide what I'm going to shoot at?
I don't know. Like why are you shooting the arrow to begin with?
What's important
Yeah.
to shoot an arrow? I like to hit targets.
Okay, so you want to make sure you're hitting a target and not a person, right?
Okay.
Like if we had a target back in the back, you want to make sure you're aiming for the target so that you don't hit Patrick. 'Cause
That
then
would be bad.
That would be really bad because then we're in lots of trouble.
Okay. In RE today, I was thinking about my vision board and what I want on it. So this is kind of like where I'm aiming my
Right.
arrows.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that this year, in the next 6 months or so, I've got these goals that the kids learn to do things like talk about Unitarian Universalism and be able to say things. Is that like shooting an arrow
Yeah,
at something?
that's
a goal?
That's a goal, and then you know where you're going, and you know where your arrow is going to go.
But if I go back there and just paste stuff on my vision board that doesn't,
And then it's
Mean
not going to
anything?
mean anything to you, and it's not going to be where you want to go.
that's important.
That is important.
Okay, so I need to think about where I'm going to aim and set some goals
Right.
for where I'm going to aim.
Yep.
That's so cool. Thank you,
You're
Reverend
welcome.
Tracie.
I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. I'm glad you got a toy. I'm going to have to check the movie out and maybe get a toy too, and we'll put some targets in the back.
It's a Marvel movie, by the way. It was Shang-Chi
And The Legend of the Ten
The
Rings.
Legend of the Ten Rings, and it was really cool. And the line in the movie, Reverend Tracie, was, if you don't aim at anything, you don't hit anything. And I thought, and it was with Aquafina, the comedian, saying this line or learning this line. It was so cool. Anyway, thank you. Now
You're
I know what
welcome.
I'm doing.
Good.
That's my favorite part of the whole service, I got to tell you. The kids, I don't know, we could all learn a lot from that. Thank you very much, Judith and Reverend Tracie. And now we will move into our interlude and offering. And the music for this one is Open My Heart. We do have a small basket on the credenza there. Susan turn the podium over to our very own Reverend Tracie. And now it is my privilege to turn the podium over to our very own Reverend Tracie. Thank you.
Oh, shucks. So we're here at the end of yet another year, a second year of dealing with a global pandemic, a second year of possibly not being able to follow our dreams and our visions we may have come up with at the end of 2019. I don't know about you, but I did not even attempt to come up with a word for the year for 2021. I'm going to try for 2022 for myself, but I do have words for 2022. A few months ago, I met with our Southern Region lead, Natalie Briscoe, our Board of Trustees here at the Fellowship, and our staff, and we had what's called a startup. And it's a time where we reviewed how we'll all work together and what our goals for the first year as minister are. And one of the really cool things that Natalie did was she helped us drill down to our core values in the congregation. And if you were part of the program planning workshop, you've heard this a little bit. After we bounced a whole bunch of words around at her, she grouped them into 4 core words. Are you ready to hear them? Love, justice, curiosity, and passion. At our program planning retreat, we took those 4 words and spread them out over the year. So they will be our themes for the Sunday services and possibly other things. And I love these core values because everything we do as Unitarian Universalists ties back to them. Love. We're known as the love people thanks to the bright yellow shirts and the Side with Love campaign. Justice. We work for justice around many local issues here as well as state and national issues on voting, reproductive rights, homelessness, etc. Curiosity. That describes every Unitarian Universalist I know. We like to learn. We like to question. We like to inquire about things. And passion. We believe deeply in the previous 3. We put our whole hearts and our lives into this congregation and the work we do outside of here. And the thing about core values is that they not only inform who we are and the decisions we make as a collective, no, they should also be the things that people know us for. My hope is that by focusing on these throughout this next year, this community here in the university area will know us by these values, that we are the people of love, justice, curiosity, and passion. But here's the thing. It can't just be about what we do in here. It has to be about what we do outside of these walls. If we've learned nothing else from the time of the pandemic, it's that the church, the fellowship, the congregation, whatever word you want to use, it's not just this building. It's the community we have. That means our members and friends who are here physically in the building and those who participate from home. That also means reaching our neighbors and letting them know we're here and that we're here for them. During the last few months here as your minister, I've been listening and observing. I've heard the love for each other that you have, and I have been blessed to be wrapped up in that as well. I've witnessed your sense of justice and how hard you work for those who are marginalized. I've delighted in your curiosity for what we can do together. And I've heard the passion for this community that you have. And I am so excited about what this next year can bring us. But here's the thing. As I've said from the beginning, this is a shared ministry. It means I cannot do this alone. I need you. I need you to bring your love, justice, curiosity, and passion to this work. But first, I need to know what you see in this congregation's future. Now, I want you to extend a little bit of trust and good humor for the next few minutes. And I want you to let yourself dream for a little bit. And with dreaming, we're going to dream big. We are not focusing on, at the moment, on resources, financial or otherwise. because I want you to dream. And here's what I want you to dream about for a few minutes. What do you want for the future of this congregation? Again, not just here in the building. I want to encourage you to think about how we are in this particular community in which we are located. And we're going to do some work around that part of the demographics and things over the next year as part of my own doctoral program studies, but we're going to start digging into that. For now, though, I want you to dream. We are not worrying about resources at the moment. And because I know there are at least one or two people wondering, well, how can we make anything happen without resources? I'm not saying we won't tend to these, but for dreaming, we're going to trust that what needs to be available will be available when it is needed. Because this congregation is generous and smart, and I bet we can find those resources when we're ready. Now, for those of you at home, you're not off the hook. I want you to dream too. And in a few moments, I'm going to have Judith help me by passing out these hearts. And people here are gonna write their dream on them. And those of you at home, I want you to email me at minister@universityuus.org. And I'll write them down for you. Because Judith and I this week are gonna put a display up in the hallway with these. And we're gonna keep blank hearts and a pen there as well. So if today you can't quite think of what you wanna put down, that's fine. Go home. And you can email me if you think of something and you're worried that, oh my gosh, I won't remember it by the time I get back to the church. Because that's something I would do. So feel free to email me if you need to. But here's the thing. These dreams, they're not just for us. We're gonna be planting seeds for trees we may never sit under. Such is the nature of building a legacy and a future. We can't just look at what we can do now in the short term for this congregation. I want to encourage you to reach further. I want to encourage you to think about what this place could look like in another 30 years. Because remember, next January, not this one, but next January, it's 30 years this congregation has been in this community. What will we look like 30 years from now? Dream that big. Carl Sagan said, "The visions we offer our children shape the future. It matters what those visions are. Often they become self-fulfilling prophecies. Dreams are maps." So what are our dreams for this congregational home? Assuming we had all the resources we needed to achieve them, what are your dreams for this congregation and the community around us? Let's take a deep breath together. Maybe you have something tickling in the back of your brain, and I want you to give it some space to grow and to stretch and reach all the way to the great pinnacle that it can be. And those of you at home, I want you to stretch and breathe too. And when I ask those in the building to write their dreams down, I want you to also write your dreams down. And then you can either email them to me, again, minister@universityuus.org, or when you're next here, you can write them down yourself. Those of you who are here, you're going to receive a red heart in a moment. And I want you to write your dream for this congregation and the community on this heart. You don't have to put your name down if you don't want to. Try to keep it all on one side of the heart, because we will be putting them up on display. And if you can't quite articulate it yet, this will be up on the display in the hallway with blank hearts to add to them. And if you have multiple dreams, ask for more hearts. I got plenty and I can get more. And so I encourage you during the closing music to write down your dreams. There's a basket on the piano, and when the service is over, I invite you to place your heart, your love for this congregation, this community, into that basket. But don't just drop them in there. Bring them with intention. Let the universe know this is what you see for us. Let the universe know this is what you're willing to work for. Let the universe know that this is what you are willing to participate in creating. We may not get there right away. We may not get to all of them at all. But with the intention there, we can start moving towards them. As Carl Sagan said, dreams are maps. We need to figure out where we're going and how we're going to get there. And I want to close with one of my favorite quotes by Mark Twain. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Let us be willing to create maps with our dreams. Let us be willing to make targets so we know what we're aiming for. And let us be willing to sail away from the safe harbor and discover the great things that we can do here together in our congregational home and in our community. Amen. Blessed be, and may it be so. Thank you. Joey, you're up. I can do it. Will you join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you. You're welcome.
My closing words today are, closing music first. My apologies. Closing music is, may you be filled with loving kindness. And
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
considering those beautiful words and my closing words, if we keep these in mind, we will have no difficulty with our intentions. This is from Thich Nhat Hanh. If you pour a handful of salt into a cup of water, the water becomes undrinkable. But if you pour the salt into a river, people can continue to draw the water to cook, wash, and drink. The river is immense, and it has the capacity to receive, embrace, and transform. When our hearts are small, our understanding and compassion are limited, and we suffer. We can't accept or tolerate others in their shortcomings, and we demand that they change. But when our hearts expand, these same things don't make us suffer anymore. We have a lot of understanding and compassion and can embrace others. We accept others as they are, and then they have a chance to transform. As Reverend Tracie would say, may it be so. Thank you all for coming this morning. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and please, if you wouldn't mind putting your pens over there back in the box so we can get those back, and please be sure that we get your hearts.